And welcome back to packet number 7. This is part 3. Today we are going over how to solve two-step equations. And at the bottom, we're just going over how to graph inequalities. So to start with the top, as a reminder, there are 2 steps to two-step equations. The first step is to get rid of the adding or subtracting on each side. And the second step is to either multiply or divide on each side to get your variable by itself. So let's look at number 1. Number 1, it says solve for z. -2 plus 10z equals 28. So I see a -2 here, so that's my first step to get rid of. The opposite of -2 is to add 2. And when I say both sides, I mean both sides of our equal sign. -2 plus 2, those are opposites, so they cancel out to 0. And then I have a positive 10z. So I'm going to take 10z equals 30, because 28 plus 2 is 30. Now my second step is to divide, because remember, a number next to a letter means to divide. We show division as a fraction, and I'm going to divide by the number that's with z. So that means I'm going to divide by 10 on both sides. 10z divided by 10 is 1z, or just z. And 30 divided by 10 is 3. So we know that z equals 3. Looking at number 2, I have a over -9 minus 10 equals 8. Well, I see minus 10. So my first step is to add 10 to both sides. And remember, we used to draw a line down. So if that's helpful to you, go ahead and do that. -10 plus 10 cancels each other. So now I have a over -9 equals 18. Now this fraction means it's division. So the opposite of divide is to multiply. And I'm going to multiply by -9 because you want to get rid of whatever is with your variable. So when I multiply, I get 1a, or just a. And 18 times a -9 is -162. Looking at number 3. So number 3, we have the answer on the left side instead of the right, but it's the same steps. So I'm going to have -11 equals 9 plus 10w. Now this plus sign does not go with the 9. The plus sign goes with 10w. But we know that 9 is a plus or a positive, because if it was a negative, there would be a negative sign in front of it. So this is adding 9. So the opposite of add 9 is to subtract 9 from both sides. 9 minus 9 is 0. So now I have 10w on the right, and -11 minus 9 is -20. Again, keep, change, opposite. You can do keep, change, opposite. Keep, change, opposite. Same signs, you add together. So -20. And now I'm going to divide on both sides. And I'm going to divide by 10. 10w divided by 10 is just w. And -20 divided by 10 is a -2. I want you to try number 4 on your own. And now the last thing we're going to do is look at this bottom part. So on the bottom, they give us just basic inequalities that they want us to practice graphing. So here are your graphing right here. So if it is less than, it's going to be shaded to the left. If it is greater than, it's going to be shaded to the right. How do I know this? Well, a good trick is to look at the way the arrow is pointing. And it is pointing the way that you are supposed to shade. These dots are if it is an open or closed dot. Remember, closed is when it has the equal to sign on the bottom. So let's just give this a try. The variable always has to be on the left. So this is starting with a variable on the right. So I'm just going to flip this expression. And when I flip my expression, I also am going to flip my sign. So this is the way it's supposed to read. X is less than or equal to -5. So I'm going to find -5, which is right here. Now, this is less than or equal to. So I can look. Less than or equal to is a closed dot. And the reason why it's a closed dot is it's saying X could be -5 or it could be anything less than -5. All of the numbers less than -5 is to the left. So that's what your graph should look like. You're shading to the left. So closed dot to the left. Okay? We're going to continue this in part 4. If you have any questions, remember you are to answer number 4 on your own. So if you have any questions or concerns, please use Google Classroom, email, or Remind.